control the governor, and they want to keep that. And they're afraid to death of a tax increase. So they're willing to go to whatever extreme is necessary to prevent having to pass a tax increase. We believe that that's just wrong, and they're wrong for taking that position. When you get elected, you represent the people, and to not allow the people to vote on this issue, you're not representing the people who put you there.
How disappointed as the Council of Churches, as the United Methodist Anti-Gambling Task Force, that a former Methodist minister and now governor would reach to the slot plan?
I get the question. I would respond first in this way. I have had the opportunity on a couple of occasions myself to talk directly with Governor Strickland as a candidate and as governor about this issue. I know that our bishops have. And here's what I want to say first. I appreciate very much some of the public statements that Governor Strickland has previously made about the fact that casino-style gambling slot machines are predatory. I mean, he has said it. I mean, he's talked about the incredible damage that this does. And so, on the one hand, I am very appreciative that the governor, up until just very recently, was willing and able to talk about this issue in a fairly objective way. The social cost, the harm done versus the potential gain to those who would operate and control the gambling profits. So I like that. I appreciate that, and I think that's a very good thing. For me personally, I can't speak for any other United Methodist, I think it's very sad. I think it's sad anytime I see anyone who speaks about what they think is right and says it in a pretty convincing way, particularly when I know it's right because I agree with it. In other words, when somebody's trying to speak from their heart about what they believe, and that's good. And it's a real sad thing to then see them take a public policy position that's the opposite of what they already said they believe is right. So I think it's a very sad thing. And in a way, this is not trying to make an excuse for any of the 72, but I think it's a really sad situation that we somehow, as a society, as the citizens in the state, have somehow communicated to these elected officials that they can't speak truth, even when it matters most. I think it's incredibly sad that they were so afraid that we all wouldn't listen to a rational discussion of the need for more revenue and hence raise taxes. And so the governor abandoned what he knows is morally right, because he didn't think he had other options. I believe he was dead wrong in saying he didn't have other options. But I just think it's just a very sad moment. And ultimately, is perhaps an indictment on all of us, and citizens and on the media, if we've tried to make the debate too simple. It's either taxes or not taxes. And taxes are always bad and not taxes are always good. When we shrink it down, or when we imply that what happens in my pocketbook is my only self, it's the only interest, then we created this mess where people of strong moral character ultimately abandon it for political expediency.
You said you referred to cowardice on the part of the lawmakers and the governor in terms of doing this instead of thinking about a tax increase. Is it your plan to make this vote in favor of slot machines just as politically damaging as a vote for tax increases?
No. I can respond further, but I do understand your question. And the answer to that is just an emphatic one word. We truly are nonpartisan. It's the other thing I would say back to the question lifted up previously. I understand the perception that the United Methodist Church and our Council of Churches, because we support a number of poverty and social justice issues, we sometimes get labeled as liberal. Democrats get labeled as liberal, therefore we must be Democrats. Kind of a logical progression in some people's minds. But we are truly nonpartisan. We are issue-driven, and this is about the issue. I would be delighted if, and just to mention two of the things most visible, I'd be thrilled, regardless whether it's Governor Strickland or President Harris, one a Democrat, the other Republican, who would rise to the occasion now and say, we got to give this some more thought. We passed this budget in a rush. Whenever they want to say it, we got a budget, but this isn't the right thing, so let's go back and work further. I could care less, who leads with that. And in my role as a United Methodist leader in this, we are truly nonpartisan. Do we all go to the polls and still vote? Yes. By the way, United Methodist, the last study I saw, voted a higher level than any other religious group in the country. We're real serious about the democratic process. And so do we have individual opinions? Sure. But no, this is not an effort of vengeance, and to say these folks have to pay. The whole idea is that we shouldn't have to pay if something's bad.
We have never run a campaign where we single out anybody for retribution or vote against this person or whatever. We run campaigns on issues. We have traditionally put yard signs in our church lots that says vote no on this casino issue. And people seem to pay attention to that because it's in a church yard. They figure if the church is against this, there must be something wrong with it. And there is something wrong with it. And our hope is that what we can see is that someday we'll get to the point where elections won't be decided on 30-second ads. 30-second ads are why we're in this boat we're in today. It's the reason people don't vote. They won't vote for tax increases because they know that 30-second ad is going to say, he voted for a tax increase. He unlocked your wallet or whatever. All of those kinds of things are what drives people, legislators, from voting for their conscience.
When you say that, though, I mean, a poll came out right in the midst of all this debate that said that a vast majority of Ohioans are okay with slots. Have they not been swayed by 30-second ads against the casinos thus far?
And if you recall, in previous years, we're outspent $25 million to maybe so many hundred thousands. And so it's not the 30-second ads that sway people, it's the facts. What we try to do is get out to our grassroots the true facts about gambling and the true facts about this particular proposal. So far, I've been doing this for 15 years, and I have yet to see a proposal that ever even offers the people, the taxpayers, a fair shake. The state never gets a fair shake. This proposal that's out there now is going to give 33% of the money to the 88 counties. Split and share or even give a fair shake. I think the fact that the governor and the legislature proceeded so fast with this, if they'd have thought about it, they might have reconsidered and had some kind of a bid process or whatever, so that at least the state would be getting a fair shake. As I pointed out, they settled for $65 million license fee, and other states have clearly been higher than $100 million, $150 million. The point is, they don't even force the people who want to have this monopoly to give up some of their greed and to share. And people see that. The voters see that. That's why it always goes down. We believe that there's maybe somewhere over a third of people who vote on moral conscience, that gambling is wrong. But there's another third that's saying, absolutely, I'm not against gambling, but I am against this proposal because it's not fair.
Compared to the Forest City casino issue that may wind up on the ballot, won't the governor and people who voted for this slots at the tracks plan, won't they be able to make this plan look good in comparison, precisely on the grounds you mentioned, that instead of getting, quote, only 33 or 30% of the take, in this case, slots at the tracks gives the state almost 50%. So just relatively, isn't that a good sales pitch for them?
It may be a good sales pitch, but the reality is the Constitution says that the state lottery is supposed to share 100% of its profits with education. 100%, not 50%, not some portion of it. It's 100%. So if you're going to hide behind the lottery as your excuse for having gambling and expanding gambling, then you've got to live by the Constitution. And clearly it states that.